Well, first and foremost, I just want to say good evening, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. And it is so wonderful to be in community once again. As African people, whenever we gather together, it's always important that we not only invite those that we can see, but those that we can't see. Because we understand that even though our ancestors may not be with us physically, they are always here because spirit never dies. And it's important that those upon whose shoulders we stand, those who paved the way for us, that they are acknowledged and that they understand that they are remembered. We acknowledge our ancestors upon whose shoulders we stand. We acknowledge their love, their sacrifices, and their commitment, and thus providing us with a foundation upon which we continue to build self-determining futures. We pour libation to the first mother, whom African people call Dink Nesh, or beautiful lady, who through her mitochondrial DNA is the progenitor of all humankind. To Dink Nesh, we say inside. And inside simply means come and drink. We acknowledge the millions of unknown and unnamed ancestors who were among the first to domesticate the animal and to cultivate the crop. To those unknown and unnamed ancestors, we say inside. We remember those Africans who, through thoughtful observation and study, were able to discern the plants that could heal from those that could do harm. To the builders of the pyramids, those architects of civilization who pondered the universe, and from those ruminations gave to the world the gifts of science, math, logic, writing, music, art, and the list goes on and on and on. To those ancestors, we say inside. To Imhotep, the world's first recorded multi-genius, we say inside. To Akhenaten, Queen Taye, Queens Nefertiti and Nefertari, we say inside. To Queen Nzinga, the warrior queen, we say inside. To the great military strategist known as Hannibal the Great, we say inside. We remember the Maroons, those extraordinary freedom fighters who built self-reliant communities in the swamps and forests, the hinterlands of the Americas, in the mountains of Jamaica, Suriname, Guyana, and Brazil, Zumbi of Palmares, Granny Nandy, and Cujo of Jamaica. To them we say, inside. We remember Duddy Boukman, also known as Zamba Boukman. Zamba meaning spiritual leader, who during a voodoo ceremony planted the seeds of the Haitian Revolution. To Zamba Boukman, we say inside. We remember Mother Moses, Harriet Tubman, whose extensive knowledge of plants was indispensable in her ability to free hundreds of enslaved African men, women, and children. And we must always remember and teach our children, our ancestors were not slaves. Let me say that again. Our ancestors were not enslaved. Slave is an identity. They were enslaved. Enslaved, which denotes not an identity, but a way of being. They were captured. They were prisoners of war. So never ever allow anyone to call our ancestors slaves because they were not. They were in a position of enslavement, of captivity, but they were never ever slaves. If they were slaves, we would not have the likes of Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, and on and on and on and on. So these are the stories that we must recapture and begin to tell these stories so that our children know the truth. And we cannot leave we cannot leave our truth to be taught to our children by the enemy. It begins with us. We must reclaim and re-envision our history and our culture, because it is one of greatness. It is one that we should all be proud of, and it is one that we should all carry in our hearts. We remember Dr. George Washington Carver, whom I call our patron saint of sustainable agriculture. And to Dr. George Washington Carver, we say inside. We remember Booker T. Washington inside. We remember Ida B. Wells, W.E.B. Du Bois, Mary McLeod Bethune, Dr. George Washington, Dr. Carter G. Woodson. And to them we say inside. We remember Medgar Evers and Dr. Martin Luther King, Ella Baker and Rosa Parks, Septima Clark, Daisy Bates, and Fannie Lou Hamer. To them we say inside. To the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who gave us the red, the black, and the green, so that we would always remember that we are one African people inside. We remember the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who taught us how to eat to live, and the Honorable Jeramogi Abebe Adjuman, whose vision of Beulah land, 4,000 acres, is now a reality with the shrines of the Black Madonna, owners of 4,000 acres of farm ranch land in Calhoun Falls, South Carolina. To them we say inside. We remember the Honorable Coleman Alexander Young and his implementation of the Farmer Lot program. We remember Gerald Hairston and the Gardening Angels. We remember Baba Lee Burns and the countless others. And we would be remiss not to call the name of Mama Jackie Hunt and Baba Kadiri Senefera. To them we say inside. And so each of us has a dual lineage. We have a lineage from our mothers, and we have a lineage from our fathers. And we have big mamas and big daddies and great aunts and great uncles who brought us into this space, who taught us how to plant a seed and watch it grow, and then watch that seed in turn into something that would nourish us. And so we must remember them and speak their names so that they know that the work that they did in nourishing and nurturing us did not go in vain, because they are here with us. I know it because I feel them. And so we call their names, and we ask them to continue to guide and guard our paths so that we can continue on this journey of recapturing, revisioning, and remembering, reattaching ourselves to who we were before we found ourselves lost in this ma'afa. So I will begin with my maternal grandparents, Berthana and Sammy Riley. Call out the names of your ancestors inside. My father, Jesse Smith Jr., inside. My big mama, inside. Aunt Aliyah, Uncle Buddy, Uncle Sonny, inside. Call their names loud. Let them know. Yes. 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 Inside. And Yes, and to those yet unborn, who many say are simply the ancestors returning to the physical realm. So to all of those unborn ancestors, we say, inside, inside, inside. Right, thank you.